Welcome everyone. I just want to first thank everyone who have signed up and gave Edgebot a try in its early stages. Since the initial release, much has changed. This video will discuss the major updates, pricing changes, release date, along with a free trial giveaway towards the end of the video. I must mention I've had a few rough months personally, so development has been stalled. On top of that, there are a few bugs when incorporating some of these new features. The biggest bug, which was difficult to troubleshoot, only occurred on a live account, not playback or broadcasting or sim account. It happened randomly. This meant using a real account to troubleshoot a bug. Extremely annoying to nail down and hard to catch when I was away from the computer. I've since overcome the major bug, and if anything, has made the program in whole much better. Major updates include ATM template support, limited backtesting support, and different times and data series support, not just 5 minutes anymore. So let's review that. In this example, we have multiple time frames and data series, just more so to prove a point. And you'll also notice that instead of just one strategy, it is now broken up into multiple strategies. Edgebot Complete is essentially what Edgebot was before, where you'll have multiple modes in this strategy, and along with the automatic mode. So automatic mode combines these other three into one. That's really the only difference with Complete. However, if you went with Blitz or Daybreak or Sentinel for the cheaper option, which we'll get into later, that's what that is for. So in the properties panel, we have obviously some bigger changes. We can now specify different times, whereas before it was just all pretty much locked in. Times here are just defaults, so even if you didn't want to mess with anything, just leave it default, and it's very similar to how it was before. But now it gives you more control over these boxes that get drawn up, and it's more so with the pre-market where it listens on the pre-market analysis, so you can modify some of these times, and also the open range, which is actually this guy here, and also the open range end, which is actually the start and finish here, but it's the trading, so you can also specify when to stop your trading. Another big major update is the backtesting. Now this is extremely limited, however it should give you an idea. It's much easier versus just going through the playback and running through a lot. It'll kind of give you a first glance of what's going on. However, it's not perfect, and I do want to showcase that in a few. The other updates are we have now ATM strategies enabled, and that's per mode. So if you are in the automatic mode here, it's going to listen to all three of these. So these are ATM strategies. I have quite a few already pre-built that will come with a program, and these are, again, you can modify your own ATM templates. You can just simply select which ones you want. If you have some pre-done that you would like to use, it'll work here. Just note, ATM templates do not work with backtesting. So again, we'll kind of get into that. So for backtesting, you have to have these strategies turned off. Otherwise the bot will not work and it'll warn you. And that's, besides the ATM, we do have more control over the profit and the stop loss. So these are, again, I'm just trying to give you guys more control over this and custom fit it to how you like to trade. So on that note, let's just enable this and then kind of go through the backtesting. So backtesting, this, I'm sure you guys have probably seen this a few times, but I do want to point it out again. With backtesting and NinjaTrader, it's not perfect at all. And that was honestly the reason why I didn't enable it before is I personally love to be accurate as much as possible, and then trying to give somebody a product that wasn't accurate, just it didn't make sense to me. So I do want to point this out. Backtesting is going to more or less show you different results unless you are in a certain time frame and on a certain mode, then those will actually be somewhat accurate. So the Ninja Renko or any sort of averaging bar like the Ninja Renko or even the Haikanashi, these are averaging bars, so these will not show great accuracy when you're running through backtesting. In fact, they'll come back with insanely good results, which should be a red flag. This is a perfect example for the Ninja Renko. It is taking 3 trades back to back, and you'll see the open, it's going to pretty much open up at the bar and then close at every single one of these, whereas if you're somewhat familiar with the Ninja Renko, that's not how that works. This is completely inaccurate, so it's going to throw a lot of this off. But if you run this live or through playback, then it will run normally, and actually you'll get some pretty good results. But I just want to give you guys a full warning. Backtesting is great, it's not perfect. The ones that do work out pretty well are the lower time frames, and ones that are like either the minute or the second is great, or even the ranges, because those will usually, they're not averaging. They kind of tell you how it is at the time. So if you went with a range 10 for instance, it's going to be more accurate than a Haikanashi, guaranteed. At least with the back testing. Now when you go through playback, it's going to be normal and actually, work exactly how you want. But this is more so to give you a real quick glance at how the bot is doing at a kind of more of a high level view. So since we went through a few examples, I'd like to just expand on the backtesting some. With the Blitz, I like to showcase, so this is a 10 range bar, and with backtesting, if you're not familiar with backtesting, it is not on every tick, meaning this strategy is normally run on every tick, right? So on each tick, this gets calculated, meaning this strategy is going to constantly run, whether it's actually in a trade or not. It's looking for trades and building things in the behind the scenes. With backtesting, on each tick is not observed. In fact, it's on close. So when this bar closes is when it's going to run the script, which is why it's insanely fast. So you can kind of go through the entire back testing in seconds versus probably minutes to go through each tick on this. So with that, this should have executed a trade right around the green bar, or this green line that's going across. So on a playback, you'll see when it hits this bar, if the previous open was above this bar and it goes below this bar, it's going to enter a trade, whether it's going to close or not. So actually, these are good examples here. It would have started this trade actually on this one here. It would have entered in this one and probably held out all the way until it completed. So it's stuff like this that I just want to point out. It's even though it worked out, this is not the true trade it would have taken. And to kind of illustrate that a little bit further, instead of a 10 range, which is insanely tight, let's look at a 5 minute. So the complete opposite on the spectrum. Let's also modify this to Blitz. And we'll go back. So this is the 5 minute candle, and as you can see, it doesn't even start getting into trades until 1 o'clock. However, it would have entered trades on this bar, and this bar. So it would have been in and out, and all three of those would have been successful because it completed that, no problem. So it will still work, and playback you can verify that it will work, but just knowing that in the back test mode it's not going to catch it, only because these bars did not finish or close below these lines. So just so you know, that's a thing. However, it is great to notice when you first enable the bot, you can kind of see at a first glance if we're looking at anything good or not. Then you can kind of go a little bit deeper on the analysis, or just go ahead and go through with the playback with your ATM templates instead. Alright, so moving forward about the pricing updates. The Blitz you can just get for $2.99 a month. Same thing with Daybreak and Sentinel. All three of those are just $2.99 a month. And the Complete, which has all three of those modes, including the automatic mode, so 4 and 1, is the $799 a month. Whereas before that was $999 a month. I have updated the trial to reflect the same pricing. So 1 month trial is $3.99, and that will give you the complete package for a whole month. So give it a shot, see what you like, see what works for you, see if there's one particular strategy that works better, and therefore it'll be cheaper in the long run for you. My goal is to release on Friday, May 31st, at the end of the month. I'll also release another video showcasing more examples and playbacks just before the release date. I'm trying something new. I'm giving away 2 free 1-month trials. All you need to do is be a subscriber and comment on this video and mention the word Edgebot to be entered into the drawing. You can find the ADT Discord link in the video description. If you have any questions, please feel free to use my contact form on my website, link also included in the video description. Thanks guys, have a great rest of your day.